And that's where we left you. Are you guys going to do anything about that?
Well, so the email she showed her seemed to be an all-hands meeting, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And meeting is the wrong way to describe it. It was more of a all staff, please report to me. There was no indication that she was going to be waiting to start talking to people until
Mm-hmm.
everyone was there. It was everyone come report to me.
Right. So the easiest assumption to make is we're humped. So what becomes the question is, do we keep working right up until we get somebody walking in going, what the fuck are you doing here? Or do we start trying to button this up to a point where we can stop, shift it off to the side, and... Well, we can't exactly... At no point will we be able to pull the innocent... What? We weren't doing anything.
I ain't gonna stop you from trying.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. I'm just kind of... I'm talking this through in my head, mostly.
These aren't the drones you're looking for.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't have the Jedi mind trick.
Do you want to have a quick in-character conference about this? Walk off to the side of a room and talk about what you're going to do?
I mean, in a second. I'm just trying to solidify my own actual thoughts on this.
I do need a chair that doesn't make quite so much noise.
Wait, who are you and what have you done with Mike?
I hear it very clearly on the stream when I listen to the recap.
Ah, okay then. I knew you didn't actually care.
Nope, when it's just you guys here, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You can live with it, just like I lived through, whistling noses and sniffling and all the other various little sounds we hear, but I don't want to be creaking on stream.
Gotcha.
It's just so loud, though, because it's so close to my microphone.
I knew there had to be another motive to that.
Yes. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted. Go on.
Well, no, I mean, I was just saying, we don't have Jedi mind trick.
That would be funny, however, because I did name this section in my GM journal as this is not the pod race you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I'm still a little unclear as to why, what's her face knew that this was an issue, because we weren't telling anybody that we weren't supposed to be here.
Well, you can ask her. You haven't gotten any indication from her or anyone else that they've had any insight into what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Other than the one we didn't get to help.
No, she's helping too.
Did she end up joining in?
Uh-huh. You've got her on aerodynamics.
Okay. I guess I thought Colleen had failed that whole conversation.
Yeah, I think he's talking about who we approached before Angel. For the administrative stuff.
Well, now, okay, here's the thing. Has Colleen shown that to Dude and Nemo? Because she showed
yeah.
that. Okay. Um. Well, dude would actually sort of do that, pull Colleen 6 inches to the side and whisper just kind of to her. I mean, this might be a problem, but how does she know? How did she know to show you that? Thought everybody thought this was on the up and up.
They're not all idiots. But I think we should send Nemo to this teacher meeting.
How the hell is he gonna get in?
Oh, yeah. What is it again he does here?
He doesn't do anything here. Out of character, if I remember correctly, that Nemo's just here as just kind of, he's just sharing the room and board that I'm getting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't give either of us a job, kid. This is a work hostel.
Somebody can make something up. That sounds good.
Well, presumably
Seems
still
to
has
enjoy that.
Presumably still has the ID for the legal representative from House McClure lying around.
I mean, kid, it's a teacher meeting. Anybody that ain't a teacher ain't gonna be allowed in. I think that's the problem with low-level stuff is that it's a little harder to fake your way in.
Well,
Probably be a lot easier to
he's
get
the
in.
only one we have to spare anyway.
You actually do have him on build.
Yeah. He's filling one of the build slots because he only needed fix 0.
Yes, but that still makes him the least qualified.
Here's a question, Nemo. How good are your ears?
Are you suggesting attempt to eavesdrop on the meeting from outside?
Sounds like a plan to me. Are you physically capable of it? Because I sure as shit ain't.
Possibly. Do we know where the meeting is taking place?
Did that little email tell them to meet at the headmistress's office or what?
It sure does.
Yeah.
Did it mention anything about what they would be discussing?
Don't think so.
It does not.
Does the headmistress' office happen to have any windows that one could potentially look through?
Huh.
We've established that Nemo can use his hyper acuity for lip reading previously.
Mm-hmm.
So that was possible. Then
Excuse me. Well, yes, it's possible. There are rooms along the outside. I mean, why wouldn't there be? So there are rooms with windows. It's a question of, is hers one with a window? And if it is her desk faced in such a way that her back isn't to the window?
Yes.
Well,
Ultimately, are there any cameras in the office, and does Queen still have a hack that would allow her to actually take control of such cameras?
well, the other thing is even if the headmistress's chair is facing with her back to the window, then everybody else would probably be facing the window and might at least be able to get the majority of the conversation through context.
Yes. Alright.
But
Let me roll a
he's right,
die.
cameras are.
Yeah, let me roll a die for the window. I actually feel like she is more the personality type to give up a window. So that somebody else can have it and she doesn't need one in her office, but I'll roll it. Since it's good for you, or it gives you more opportunities, I'll take high roll. 5 or 6 will give her a window. She does not have a window.
Alright.
Cameras, however, are... Yeah, she does have a camera.
Is there any way we could access that camera?
Colin could attack the school again. Well, what I should the way I should answer that is there are no ways for you to hack it without taking other actions. Or not, sorry. There are no ways for you to access those cameras without taking other actions. Whew.
And it does not seem likely that I would be able to get access to the meeting, to the information shared in that meeting at such a short notice.
Well, then just go to the meeting and be yourself. Dazzle them with your winning force of personality.
It is unlikely that they would admit me to that meeting based on that alone.
Make it sound good.
I'm wondering what you think he would possibly say, kid, to get him into a meeting that he's not allowed to be in.
I don't know, what does he usually say?
Well, we usually got at least a leverage point or leeway or something. As being just teachers and a headmistress. I mean, if I was the headmaster of a school and I was having a meeting for my teachers, I can't think of a single argument that would let me let somebody other than my staff into a meeting. Wouldn't matter how convincing it was, I would just be like, that's nice. Get the fuck out.
Well, in that case, you'll have to go.
I ain't a teacher, kid. They ain't paying me, I'm paying them.
But they put you on to work detail here, so you could at least say, oh, I thought I was staff, thought it applied to me. Then you can explain to them why this awesome little project was fast-tracked, because the kids got all so excited. It's a great opportunity. and so on and so on.
Well, we're
Do
still
we know
running on the.
do we know that this project is the topic of this meeting?
No, we don't. We're making an assumption.
If it's not, you can just sit in a corner, sip whatever is it, coffee they offer, and just nod.
Fortunately, with this little preparation time, I am unable to calculate any approach that would conceivably result in success aside from physically forcing entrance to the room, which would be counterproductive to the point of observing the meeting.
They might take that as an interruption. Does the headmistress's...
I could, with a probable success rate of at least 98%, enter the meeting and eliminate everyone present.
Yeah, that would be a bad idea. Biggest problem with that is if you kill all the teachers, they'll probably shut the school down and then we won't be able to finish the project anyway.
How long is the? How much time are we? How much time do we calculate? Do we project that we still need to finish?
Yeah, how far did we get into this before that email kicked through?
Quarter of a day.
Only a quarter of a day?
Well, you spent a bit of time recruiting, and then got to work and had some interruptions going up into lunch. I imagine it's just a little bit after lunch right now. Now remember, you've only got 1.75 days. You don't. It's not actually 2 full days. So
yeah,
you've got.
I just figured. I thought we'd gotten through at least like half of a day before they twigged.
Yeah, I mean it's not far off.
What does it normally require for a project such as this to be approved?
I'm not sure any of you would know that. Maybe Colleen from what she saw while hacking, but that wasn't exactly her specific thrust. That isn't something that she was specifically trying to figure out. She was just providing herself with the authorizations. Probably copying templates off of other projects. You could certainly ask to roll an admin. Just to see.
I mean, we could have gotten approval for this just a day later. And
well,
that was basically
that is the one thing that you do know without any rolls is that you had the room scheduled for tomorrow.
Could have. I didn't.
No, you did.
Did I?
Yes. Mm-hmm. The recap notes at least say, I'd have to listen to it again, but the recap notes do say that you went ahead and scheduled it.
Maybe I did. I guess I think I could have sworn I remembered that I was like, okay, well, maybe we'll try something else. Or maybe I said, well, might as well, just in case.
I think it was a might as well just in case.
Okay.
Or maybe more like, okay, go ahead and schedule it as a not looking weird kind of thing.
Right. Well, I mean, we got to try something to get in there. Or at least get an eyeball on it. I think the biggest problem is that if it is about us and one of us shows up, it just sort of makes it look that much more suspicious. Because they certainly didn't ask any of us to come to the meeting, and we didn't get any emails about it. It's pure coincidence we found out.
Well, why don't you tell them that if they ask? It was pure coincidence you found out. Obviously, you must not have gotten that email, but you had everyone on the staff.
Well, here's the problem. If she's having an all-staff meeting, anything anybody says about, oh, you must have missed an email, well, everybody that could have sent that email would be there. I think that's the problem is she's having this meeting to physically verify the fact that nobody actually authorized the thing that everybody has noticed.
Well, tell them you have no idea, but you were super happy to see that things got moved ahead of things and the kids are so excited. It would be terrible blow to morale and everything.
That was a thought. Just claim that it wasn't my idea and that I just got pulled in because I'm the supervisor for the project. So it really comes down to how confident are you that you covered your tracks.
It's 100% perfect in the system.
Well, if we're going to try and bald face our way out of it, then what we should do is not even try to go to the meeting. Because showing up to the meeting just makes it look more suspicious. If they have this meeting and everyone collectively decide that this whole project, well, who the hell authorized it, and they come down, I'll be able to more honestly say, I don't know what you're talking about. I got the approval and everything looks cool.
Yes, but people in meetings get ideas. So I was hoping to send Nemo so he can stop them from having the right idea.
Just becomes a question of how he would get in.
Like he normally gets in. Just lie, say nothing, maybe look a little bit creepy so nobody asks.
Yeah, but I feel like you haven't been around when we've been planning some of these things. We've always had at least a basis in
Mike, I assume that by sheer coincidence there wouldn't be any teachers at the school that looks anything remotely like Nemo looks at present.
That'd be weird.
Yeah, there's
Just by
half.
sheer random coincidence.
There's a half dozen regular staff and then another half dozen intermittent staff. Kind of like Dude, but actually, actually staff. So the chances of him looking like one of 12 people close enough that he could be mistaken for them are, well, we're in a space game. Let's use the correct terminology. Astronomical. Let me see if there's even a. Here. Let's do this. If this rolls a 1. I think I might have broken roll 20. Nope, I did not. It, however, could not figure out what die to roll for it. Why did I even make that? Oh,
9
billion. Okay.
Yes.
So I think I gave you fairer odds than the real universe would have.
Billion to 1 odds could still happen to could still happen to about 7 could still happen to about 7 people on Earth every day.
You know what? That's true. That is true, and there are more lookalikes than just one for every billion people. All right, I gave you kind of shit odds there. Sorry. The answer is still no.
Certainty is you're not one of the 7.
No. Yes, that would be the problem with it, obviously, but it'll happen somewhere. Right, and presumably the odds are also not in our favor that any of these teachers would have any odd affectations of always covering their face in public.
No. There are no masked teachers here. It's probably a good thing.
Well, maybe you had a gym teacher who was very enthusiastic about lucha libre.
Yep.
You could just distract the headmistress.
Not the right city for that.
Telling her, come quickly, something terrible has happened.
Was that actually an in-character suggestion there?
Yes.
Okay.
Problem is
Quickly,
that
come quickly. Something terrible has happened on the other side of the world. You need to take the next flight out. We can have a meeting once you get back.
That any distraction likely to disrupt the meeting is also likely to disrupt regular school functions. Unless you have data, relevant data on the headmistress about any potential family members or interests that she might have in a different city that could use to make an emergency call. Something terrible has happened is unlikely to be sufficient explanation.
Does the headmistress's office have a? Did she, when she gave up whatever was probably the original headmaster's office, because I doubt she's the originator of this school, is she?
I don't think you guys know.
But does her current office have a secretary's foyer? Does it have that secondary front office that most?
No, it doesn't.
So she just has an office that has a door that opens on a hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Nemo, you want to go get a glass and stand there? That was what I was mostly thinking when I was asking how good his hearing was. This really is way too epic music for what we're doing here.
Oh, I think
And
you're hearing different music than us.
I'm unlikely to be able to pick up information from any meeting where I will not, at the very least, be able to either present in the room or be able to see people talking.
So you haven't got some kind of special crazy android ears. Got it.
At present, no. I would likely be able to pick up and listen into any transmissions they make, but assuming that the meeting is held in person, that is not likely to do us any good.
And I want to interject again. The calling it a meeting is not entirely accurate. It is more of just everyone come see me. Again, she's not going to be waiting for anybody. Looking at the email, she's not going to be waiting for anyone before she starts talking to him. So it's not a set time. Be here from this time to this time.
So it is. So this
Oh,
is
so
a.
it's just-
It was just a meeting to every teacher. When you get a chance, come see me.
Well, not a when you get a chance. It was a come see me. Now.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want. I keep hearing you talk as if there's going to be like a formal agenda and everyone's sitting down and talking and listening. That may not be the case. You may get people that were doing something else, straggling. They didn't get advance notice, and they're walking past the wall that Nemo is listening at. I just want to make sure you're aware of that potentiality.
Oh yeah.
Also, I wasn't actually going to go with that idea because of that. Because that would be obvious.
Okay.
I don't think anyone's seriously considering that.
Okay.
No. And I'm not my head isn't thinking formalized meeting, just a meeting in the loosest definition of a group of people meeting in one place.
Okay.
Are there any teachers who are currently indisposed or not on the premises?
I don't think you've had enough contact with the teachers to even let you have a role with that.
They don't have a publicly they don't have a publicly posted teachers available schedule.
They do not.
I'm afraid that, given such short notice and with so few resources at hand, again, the only options I can immediately calculate to be successful would be, well, the mass termination of teachers.
Yeah, and again, that ain't a viable plan. Well, an easy way to find out if this is the subject of the meeting is, at the very least, show up at the headmistress's office with some other question. I got it. I'm worried about you, kid. considering that I've got direct responsibility for you and that I am a caring relative, I want to make sure that you are fitting in after the first, what are we, a day or two into her thing?
She's been to classes twice.
All right. I just want to check up on my niece. And,
Will he make air quotes?
She's not giving that up.
No, she's not. And make sure she's doing okay. So I wanted to see if the headmistress wasn't doing anything. So I just walked down to her office and I knocked on her door and wanted to check in. When did this email go out? A couple minutes ago?
Yeah, from the looks of it, it got forwarded to Trisha within a few minutes of going out, and then she saw the alert and started raising heck at that time. Well, not raising heck, but notifying people.
Alright, well, you guys keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to walk down to the headmistress's office and play the concerned relative and see if that gives me any insight onto what the heck they think is going on. If they kick me out, well, we'll find out at least that it isn't just an open meeting. And if they don't kick me out, I might find out what's going on. If they don't kick out, they might not even be concerned about what I'm doing. Who knows?
Well,
the whole city
good
might
luck.
be ready to blow up.
Good luck with trying to expose it all.
Thanks, kid. Ask your friend why she thought that this was important, because if everybody that we're working with knows that this is not supposed to be our area, then, well, we might, well, if they're continuing working, then they obviously are cool with it, but we might have more problems. We still got another day and a half to go. But, dude's gonna disengage from what he was working on and head down. Is this gonna put a severe delay in the mod he's working on?
For as long as he's not working on it.
Alright, well, we'll see how long that goes.
I mean, a day is 8 hours of work, so you've got wiggle room.
Yeah, as long as the mod he was working on wasn't going to also take the entire 1.75 days while the rest of the thing's getting built, I would hope.
Well, it is. All those pieces are taking that 1.75 day mark. What I mean about you have 8 hours, or a day is considered 8 hours, is you've got 24 hours in a day, effectively, ignoring the differences of planets. And you only need to spend 8 of them for a day of work. So if this takes you 2 hours, then you just spend 2 more hours during this day, and you lose a little bit of sleep. So, that's not going to be a huge issue. If you get detained, that is. Not that I'm saying that's a possibility. I mean, they're teachers, what would they do to you?
So you're 100% ruling that out.
Excuse me. Okay. Dude heads on over to the secret teachers meeting.
Well, dude heads to the headmistress's office.
Mm-hmm.
Just being casual.
Mm-hmm. He sees one of the teachers leaving he's coming around the hall and is actually exiting the door to her office and heading down the hall towards him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cursory greeting as he passes.
Mm-hmm. Dude just smiles and says, "Howdy." Well, probably not howdy. That's a little too Texan.
You were initially going to go cowboy accent twinsies with Jeff.
No, remember my original was California dude.
Yeah,
The very original was supposed to be Surfer dude. I just couldn't manage it.
I think that was after you and Jeff were talking, because Jeff was trying to threaten me with the terrible Texan accent or Southern accent, and you were on board with it.
Mm-hmm.
You were gonna do the same thing to me.
An accent that was worse than the accent he actually did.
I think he was actually trying to be bad or good. I'm not sure.
Never quite sure with Jeff. I think he was actually trying to be good with that accent.
Okay.
Just from a, does he give me is that greeting any more significant than just, oh hey?
No.
Okay. All right. And just for my remembering, the vocal deception skills on this is talk, right?
The vocal deception skill is talk, yes.
Okay.
Connect
Sure.
is not used for deception unless it is trying to get. Unless you're using it in a streetwise sense where you're spending time canvassing and trying to get people who will believe you, and then they will likely need to be convinced more with talk, should there be any more convincing.
All right. Yeah, well, that's why I stuck points in talk.
Okay.
Still sitting at 2 unspent. All right. Well, dude kind of moseys up to the door and gives it a knock.
Yeah, here's a quick come in.
Opens the door. I'm assuming he knows the headmistress's name at this point.
Yeah, wasn't he? No, he wasn't there for that meeting. And it's also on her desk. It's Tracy Sterling.
I was going to say, he's been here long enough that would just be a piece of knowledge he's picked up.
Mm-hmm.
Hurt my knuckle pretending to knock on my desk.
It's funny because I don't think we heard it.
No, you didn't. I know that my microphone did not light up with that.
Obviously, you should try knocking harder.
Yeah, not with that knuckle again. Opens the door, kind of peeks his head in. Hey, Miss Sterling, would it be all right if I had a word with you? I don't want to interrupt.
What is dude's name?
What did we pick for this?
Yeah.
Oh man. Because this is the first place we went after we left the house. Oh shit.
Was it Damien Rucker?
Darius Rucker.
Darius Rucker. Okay. Dude comes in, says that, and well, how can I help you, Mr. Rucker?
Oh, hey, well, thank you. I didn't mean to. I don't want to interrupt your day too much. I just
No, be quick. I've got other teachers coming in.
All right. Well, I honestly, I just wanted to check in and see how you see what you thought of how my kid was my niece was doing on her classes since you so graciously kind of took her under your wing. I hadn't had a chance to check in with her, and you know how kids are. They don't like to talk about what's actually going on, so I just wanted to make sure she was being a little more well-behaved than she was when you decided to...
She
Hold her
connects
in.
things. There's a visible change in her expression towards Dude.
Mm-hmm.
Your niece, young Miss Lovejoy.
Yeah.
Do you know where she is right now?
Oh, yeah. We're,
You know where your child is.
Uh-huh. We're down in one of the main bays helping her with a project she's working on. She pulled me in and a few of her friends.
Yes, lab work in energy concepts. Correct? She has a very stern look.
Uh-huh. As an out of character, that's not what our thing would be classified as.
No, it's not what Colleen called it either. Colleen used the word engineering. She had other words in there, but she used the word engineering.
Mm-hmm.
So it has some of the same letters.
Right.
It's in the same language.
Yes,
What the heck is an insight check in this?
Notice.
Mm-hmm. Still wisdom?
Still wisdom. And
she
what
trying to catch me out?
I think that's a little too specific for an insight check.
Does that seem like a kind of question where she's paying more specific attention to how I answer rather than what I answer? I mean...
that's a fair way to put it. It seems more of a rhetorical question.
Okay.
Like, she knows what the answer is already.
Mm-hmm. Well, but she knows what the answer is and she doesn't care what I answer.
She knows what the answer is, and she's more... It's more of a... this is what I know.
Mm-hmm.
Try to scare you tactic, now talk.
Okay. Well, that's what... Yeah, so she is... Yeah, she's trying to pull information with that question,
Yes.
not just get an answer to that question.
Yes, definitely.
Alright. Gesundheit.
Nah, I was just coughing.
Ah. Alright. Well, I'm going to roll a talk charisma to see if I can kind of folksy my way out of this see if I can answer without actually answering. I'm actually going to answer in character. I just want this to decide how convincing he's going to be with it.
Okay, hold off on that roll just for now. Go ahead and do the in-character part, and...
Well, I don't know too much of the specifics of what she's working on. She brought me in mostly for physical engineering work, because that's my expertise. Energy manipulation is a little more outside of my thing. I know she's doing some studies on it.
Gonna pause you. Go ahead and make the roll. Okay.
9s all over the place.
I see.
Same damn roll. Just with the +1 in a different spot.
Okay. She interrupts Dude and says, energy concepts is what is supposed to be occurring in that workshop right now. I'm going to give you one guess how many students are supposed to be in that lab? Seven. There are 7 students who are trying to better their understanding, to improve their aptitude scores so that they can get out jobs in there. What are they doing right now?
I couldn't say. I
Yeah.
just was brought in.
Your niece has, in some manner, we'll get to the bottom of it, occupied that room. The schedule was changed. I don't know who changed it. I'm working on that. If I find out that there was any intent to disrupt this school and disrupt those students who are just trying to get themselves a life, I will bring the police down on you. On you, your friend, and your niece. There is a knock on the door.
Well, I can certainly understand why you'd be upset. All I can tell you is I was just helping out, and I was running on the assumption that everything was on the up and up.
Well, now you know it's not. And she looks over his shoulder and says, "Come in."
All right, well, I won't take up any more of your time.
That would be for the best. As a teacher is walking in.
That dude heads out.
Okay.
And he walks back to the lab.
Okay.
Tracks down Nemo and Colleen, whatever they're working on. Pulls them over to the side.
Before we get there, I believe there was a suggestion for Colleen or Nemo to find out why Trisha thought it was a problem.
I mean, dude asked that. Whether or not Colleen listened to him is...
Yeah. Did you wanna?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna flip to that scene while dude is talking to the headmistress. It's not difficult to pull Trisha to the side if that's what Colleen is trying to do.
Yeah.
If there's any hesitation in Colleen talking, then Trisha starts.
Well, it's more like, okay, Trish, why do you think this is a problem?
She looks around and she pulls Colleen more to the side and says, well, there was supposed to be a lab here, and well, you saw that some of the people were confused. I think something's going on.
Well, I was confused too. Because says we're supposed to be here.
And that's a problem. Did you do something?
Well, I'm working if that's what you mean.
Come on, Darlene. I mean, the room got rebooked all of a sudden. You're bringing all these people in all of a sudden. You're not from around here. Some of the other people aren't either.
See?
You know, Joanna came all the way from House LaRue. She starts talking about Joanna. And then she starts talking about
See,
somebody
we
else
all-
who came from a different house. And I'm
We
from
all got
cheering.
excited the second we heard about this. I thought maybe if something got big enough, everything changed. I just got it. I have no idea how this crap works.
She looks skeptically at Colleen. Okay, well
What happens?
I don't know. I don't think this is gonna end well. I'm actually kind of worried now.
Well, just
I don't
want to
be kicked out, Darlene.
Did you do anything?
I'm here.
So am I? So are the others?
Yeah, but what if like whatever what if whatever happens just gets all of us expelled?
How could it? I mean, did you do anything you were not supposed to do?
I don't know. There's supposed to be something else here, and now there's not.
How is that your fault unless you did it?
Because I'm working on it.
In good faith?
I'm just worried, Darlene.
Alright. The thing, I don't think they would do anything to
Hi,
anyone who
cat.
hasn't done anything.
What was that?
That was a cat.
My cat is trying to eat my microphone while lying on my chest.
Ah, I see.
More like you hurt.
You know,
Well,
better
yes,
than
that
keep
too.
sucking. No, don't worry. Sure, we'll straighten it out. I don't think they would punish you for literally not doing anything.
But what if they think I did?
I think the headmistress is a very fair person.
I guess so.
Don't think she would do that. Now, the guilty parties, they probably have to worry about something. That's what I'm asking. Did you do anything?
No?
See? There you go. All good. Tell you the same thing they told me in space. Don't worry about it. If something happens, you're either dead or everything's gonna be fine.
I don't want to die. She says this loud enough for other
You're
students to
not in
hear.
space? Are you in space in a collision course with the sun? Yes, no, no.
The nearest student is, who's gonna die?
Nobody's gonna die? Because this planet is not about to fall into a sun? Because this is not a spaceship, it's a planet? Unless you all know something I don't?
It still starts a bit of a wave of.
Can Nemo make a leadership roll to stop this from getting out of hand?
Sure can.
Let's do some fire putting outing and get people back to work.
That seems sufficient. How does Nemo go about that?
Well, the same way Camp would do, by getting everyone's attention with a quick stern call to order, and then have everyone focus back on everyone focus back on their assignments.
Okay.
Reminding them.
He was thinking he was gonna shoot one to show the rest that nobody's going to die.
Reminding everyone why they're there, and that they're better, and that the improvement of their scores depend on this project getting done on time.
Okay. There is still murmuring and mumbling, but the wave has been chopped off at its crest. Trisha looks back at Colleen Darlene, still looking mighty skeptical. And she says, I just thought it was all weird, and then all the teachers are being called away, and I still think you had something to do with it. But
Listen, you fly a drone once in this place and suddenly everyone suspects you of
it's
everything.
not even about that. God, you're a drama queen. I'm sorry, I think I find it funny someone else calling a drama queen.
Just getting sick and tired of being blamed for everything all the time.
Well, come on, you have to admit this is weird. There was supposed to be something else here, and now there's not, and you had this special thing you wanted to do. And look, we're doing it.
Well, I've been here for 2 days. I have no idea how these things are done.
It's not a coincidence.
I thought I had a great idea. And I was like, oh, awesome, we're doing it.
Fine.
Look, at this point, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm still working on that
Main thing is you
chassis.
didn't do anything wrong, so I'm not worried.
I'm gonna get back to the chassis, Darlene.
Excellent.
Alright. Do Colleen or Nemo do anything else while dude is gone?
Well, Colleen feels unfairly persecuted. It's like the girl who flew drone.
Nope.
Alright. Dude comes back.
Mm-hmm.
To epic music.
Yep.
How sure are you about that epic music?
I stopped it and started it again, so it should have been the crescendo of the march track.
That's what I was getting.
Yeah, I got that too.
Okay.
So it should not be ethereal plane?
No. Well, maybe it is now.
What listed and has been playing for like the entire time, that's why I'm asking.
No, it should be light in dark places.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Yep, light and dark places.
Like I said, it still feels way too epic for what we're actually doing.
Nope. Even completely reloading the thing.
Alright, I'll stop the music one more time. Everybody has music not playing?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
My favorite song by Currently.
And
now I've got ethereal plane.
Nick, Mel?
Ethereal plane.
Okay.
And it's a real plane.
Not that it needs to be synced for you guys, but at least when we comment on the epicness of the music, everyone's on the same song.
Now, do you have it on a playlist where it's going to transition to another song, or is this set on loop?
Well, it's set on a shuffle loop for a specific planet.
Gotcha.
But it has been playing the same song. It should be playing whatever song I tell it to, and I tell it to shuffle, which should then choose a song and then send that to you guys.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be pulling anything from our set.
Okay.
All right.
Dude comes back.
Yep. He pulls Nemo and Colleen aside. Well, we're humped. The headmistress is involved, and basically, she knows that this isn't supposed to be happening. She's not putting any credence in anything the system is telling her. She's running on the assumption that the system has been compromised. It sounds like she doesn't have any definitive proof that it's you, but she, as far as she's concerned, she knows it's you, and nothing's going to change her mind. So I'm getting the feeling that even if she doesn't find any proof in the system that you made the changes, you are going to be the scapegoat. The biggest problem is that she's pretty pissed about this. This isn't just well, we shuffled the classrooms around and, don't do it again kind of thing. She's planning on getting the authorities involved, and I'm not sure that there's going to be anything she's going to find in the system or otherwise that's going to disabuse her of that notion.
Well, she's not gonna find anything in the system. So,
Like I said, I don't think she cares. The lack of evidence, I think, is going to just be evidence for her.
Is there any conceivable way that we could frame someone else for the alteration?
That was my thought. Because if she doesn't find any evidence to actually tell her who did this, she's just going to tag the most likely suspect, which right now is you.
damn it, why me?
Because you are the beneficiary of this.
How am I the beneficiary? I'm just working on this damn project.
Mm-hmm.
What, you thought I was stupid enough to put it in under my own name?
No, she just knows that you're the only person that actually wanted to be working on this. It's like trying to pretend you didn't rob a bank and somebody asks, well, where'd you get that 20,000 credits? Shit, man, I don't know. I found it on the street. Must be my good luck. You know. So unless she finds a scapegoat, we're screwed. And not just screwed as in, people are upset, but like, yeah, authorities, which we've already dealt with and don't really feel like doing that again.
Fine. Who on the staff do you hate the most?
I don't know anybody on the staff enough to even say that I like or hate them. So I'm not going to pick some poor bastard. I'd prefer...
Preferably it should be someone who is not currently able to... currently here to contest... the framing immediately.
Yeah. We need an interested third party. I'm going to come up with something that's more likely. How hard do you think it would be?
Or we could go with a version of the truth.
Frame another student?
Why not framing another student?
Oh, now you suddenly get scruples. Well, what's your thought, kid?
I always had scruples. Well, I could just walk in there. Tell her I'm very sorry, I'm in hiding. I fear for my life. That was the only way I saw to preserve it, by doing this sweet little project to get enough money so I can hide better.
That's certainly an approach. The problem is that her biggest issue with this whole thing is that we've disrupted the learning of other people. who are trying to improve their life. So it's not just the scheduling conflicts, it's, well, she takes it pretty personally, it looks like. Now that might help
I
you
think
in
the
something like
woman
that.
might be a bit overly dramatic, given that the project just got shuffled by only more than a day. If that's enough to ruin someone's life, because they couldn't do it that very day, they got bigger problems.
Well, I get the kind of impression that most of the people here that have ended up here kind of do have bigger problems.
Yeah, they all have problems.
So any stumbling block that we put into their path is likely to have its effect amplified. She's kind of got a point. When you're down that low, even tripping on a rock in the street is going to take you down. It's only when you have the benefit of a large safety net that you can stumble on a rock on the sidewalk and not have to worry about it.
We're literally talking about like 2-day delay. Just to put that in perspective.
I know. I'm not saying that I 100% am on board with her interpretation. I'm just saying I can see where she's coming from. But the only other thing I could think of is could get back into the system and cause more unfocused chaos in the system to make it look like that was somebody that was just getting in and screwing around with lots of things. Shuffle other classes around, shuffle other assignments around. You know, muddy the waters, cover the tracks.
And you are sure I'm not just gonna get blamed as this being an attempt to further muddle the waters?
Well, that's my well. There's the question is
Cause see, that's how I got kidnapped last time. Because people were irrational despite the facts.
well, also you got
Because if I'm
kidnapped.
being blamed already, there is no point in me doing anything that makes it look like it's not my fault. Because the people will assume it's my fault and I made it look like it's not my fault.
Well, like I said, that's one other option, and your thought of going bald-facing it out to her certainly isn't that bad, because it sounds like she's got a bit of a weak spot for people in need. So if you think you can play the disadvantaged youth that has major problems going on in your life, you might be able to get her on your side. You just got to be sincere about not. Don't pull on her the look, it was only a day, what the hell is the big deal? And I think that's actually going to, make your odds a little less. Play up the sympathy angle. And can you at least pretend to be sympathetic to other people's concerns?
I always am.
Well, you don't act like it.
Or show it.
Yeah, maybe if people once in a while would realize that there are bigger problems.
I think from some people's perspectives, the bigger problems are less important than the problems that are right in their face. Whether that's valid or not is up to them. It's a little hard to worry about the big picture when you're starving on the street.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the bigger picture is important. Fine, I'll talk to her.
Well,
Just someone be ready to get my drone. I would look up somewhere.
oh well, I sure as shit don't have access to that. When you were fiddling
It was
around in this.
more of a This is gonna go terribly, terribly wrong. If it does, it doesn't matter that you might have to bust down some doors and maybe break into a locker.
Yeah, what I'm saying, kid, is I don't know where they're keeping it. Did you ever pull that up when you were fiddling around on the system? There's a lot of places they could be keeping something like that.
Is that something she would have picked up while she was scoping out the place?
No, you heard her tell Peter Yen to put it in a locker.
Well, it's in a locker somewhere. So in the meantime, she wouldn't mind to go and figure out where?
In the meantime, she would like to what?
Yet in the meantime, if you would like to find out where.
Actually, we have like a dozen kids that would probably know of where the lockers might be.
So we really have no better idea for this. Alright.
This one
That's
was your
fine.
idea to begin with,
Alright.
kid. Don't give me grief because I couldn't come up with a better idea.
Well,
Just,
I guess Colleen goes to see that restaurant.
Okay.
just be as honest as you can, kid. And, eesh.
What are Nemo and Dude doing?
Yeah, well, there's the
interim.
question.
It is highly unlikely that this will result in a positive outcome, I fear.
Yeah, well, I'm just hoping they don't call the police.
It would be inconvenient should we have to relocate again, safe house again.
Yeah, well, that's... Damn it. I only made one extra identity for Colleen.
You've got and Nemo's got one extra identity.
That we didn't use?
No, you used it, but he
Oh,
has
right.
an extra identity.
Right.
Actually, Nemo is going to switch one of his standby search phrases from the Rasa and over to just monitoring for calls made to the police from the school.
I was gonna actually suggest
Hmm.
that. Oh.
Well, he still can't do location specific, but he could just monitor for police and filter out all the stuff that doesn't
Yes.
relate.
Yes, that is what he's doing.
Okay.
If they put in a call for the police to this specific location, that you'd think that would at least trigger. All right. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Dude's gonna. Well, he's gonna try and. I can't think of a way to say this, but I want Dude to be able to do this, which is to try and ask and some of the kids that are helping us out work on this thing, where secure lockers are without it being really obvious that he's looking for secure lockers.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and do a charisma talk on that one.
I kind of figured. I'm just like, there's got to be a way to ask the police, hey, where do you keep your guns, without it being really obvious. By the way,
Well, maybe
I'm
not
totally looking for a
asking the
gun.
police, but
Yeah.
someone else who would know, or might
Exactly. Where was that roll earlier?
Okay, that is a pretty good result there. The students he talks to aren't entirely certain, but they think they've seen things being taken into the room right next to the headmistress's.
Awesome.
Since she is on an inside corner, there's going to be 2 rooms next to her no matter what, but...
Mm-hmm.
We'll say he's a little bit more specific. It says just before, with the assumption being as proceeding from one of the common rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So dude knows which room he's talking about.
All right. Well, dude relays that location to Nemo, and I feel like Nemo is, if nothing else, better suited to trying to get into that room unobserved. What type of, how long is the walk from here to there then?
Oh, less than 5 minutes.
Okay. So why don't we keep that as a... Alright. As dude is trying to continue the work while Colleen's off doing her thing, says Nemo when he comes back. Well, I found out they got a set of the secure lockers basically in the room right next to the headmistress's office. Is it the one on the right or the left?
It's on the left.
Okay. It's the door on the left of her office, it sounds like. I'm saying we keep that as an ace in the hole. If shit goes completely south, it should only take a minute or 2 to get to that room, pop it open, and then you should be able to bust open almost any secure locker they got. I doubt they've got high tensile steel and whatnot. They probably just got standard lockers. Figure you should be able to rip the door off no problem, and then we get the hell out of here.
That should be easy enough, yes.
All right. Well, I'll establish this just so we don't. Well, I prefer not to start off on the wrong foot. This is one of those weird moral situations in which self-defense, at least in the fatal sense of the word, is actually still slightly immoral. It's not completely immoral. Obviously preservation of self is the most essential thing. It's the thing that separates us from most of the animals and shit like that.
You would prefer that I do not terminate any teachers and those students in the event of violence in our escape.
We got that. That's part 1. Part 2 would be, even if the police come and start shooting at us, I'm going to be aiming for non-fatal retaliation, because the cops are just doing their job, and we are not even technically, we are legitimately just breaking the law, and they are well within their rights to, take us. I got to imagine getting called over for hacking a high school or whatever the hell this is. Hacking a school system ain't going to be something they're going to send a cadre of armed tactics officers. But I mean, if we start causing trouble, they might start shooting at us. So, barring that one of them trying to, cap Colleen in the head, I'd prefer if we go non-lethal. Yeah.
Understood.
Right on. And, well, I mean, if it comes down to it, you grab Colleen and you get the hell out of here, and I'll manage on my own.
So if that is what you prefer.
Yeah, don't tell the kid she'd get pissed.
Obviously.
Maybe not. I don't know. She's got a pretty enlightened self-interest going on for herself. I think she just might get offended at thinking she needs to get taken care of. What do I know? I'm only like 6 months old as far as I'm concerned. Alright, well. If nothing else, let's keep working on what we're working on. But, I guess be ready to make a break for it.
Alright. I'll switch back over to Colleen. Colleen reaches the headmistress's office.
Well, a couple of steady breaths, I would imagine.
Okay.
A couple of more steady breaths.
Alright.
You know that scene where you see someone sitting in front of a door with the hand raised and kinda, do I knock, do I not knock?
Uh-huh.
That's Colleen, right there.
It'd be so much easier to run.
Yes, but unfortunately, just running doesn't work, which is why she's pulling half the shit she does. Just not viable. And then she knocks.
She hears a terse voice inside. It's not so much a invitation into the room. It is an order to enter the room when she says, "Come in."
This is a great start, Colleen. This is a really great start. What could go wrong? And mentally, here's the image of the whole system with half the galaxy disappearing going, well, at least the stakes are lower here. And she comes in.
Tracy hasn't even looked up from her desk yet. She is her monitor. Her eyes are affixed until the door closes behind Colleen, and she looks up, and where there was demand and terseness in her voice, it tightens her face. Sit down.
So not in a good way?
No, not in a good way.
And she sits down.
Are you responsible for rescheduling the room? The workshop?
She nods.
How did you do it?
In the library. With a computer.
This is a secure system. You can't just sit down at a computer and hack it.
I feel like Colleen thinks for a moment to raise her finger to say it really isn't. But kind of thinks better of doing that.
It did require one line shunt. It is actually a secure system in that sense.
Yes, a secure system in that sense, but we've already established that Colleen does not think of things like that.
Yes,
It's
indeed.
like the well-secured environmental system on South where she was. Guys, you could really improve this. It's just crap.
So how does Colin respond then?
She just decided for the moment it didn't really seem to her like the
Yeah.
moment was done. It was more like this was
Oh,
it sounded more like a statement.
yes. She does continue. If Colleen does not interject, she does continue.
Yes, Colleen does not interject. The first thing she actually mentally checks herself was for being a snippy. No, it isn't.
Colleen can kind of see.
Ah, cat! Ow! Sorry.
That's okay. That's appropriate to what is happening in the game.
Sorry. Oh, really? There's a cable strapped across Colleen and the cat is trying to play with it and digging its claw into your belly.
It's a metaphor.
For life?
Yeah. Are you safe now?
No, but the cat has momentarily stopped.
Okay, good. Colleen can see Tracy mentally going through the motions. If possible, her expression goes just a little bit more dour, and she says, "Did you have help?"
Just technology.
Please be more specific.
Well, I had to use a line shunt.
Where do you even get those?
I got a whole crate at the tech market.
Of course. They will sell anything there. I have a mind to ask why, but I'm not sure I want to hear the answer.
Well, I'm sure you wouldn't to either.
I will leave it
And I
open
have-
to you. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
Well, I have tons of things to say. I'm not sure it makes a difference at this point. I'm just trying to make sure nobody else gets caught in the fallout. But if you want me to, I will tell you, but you might not want to know this. That's
I'm a headmistress at this institute, presiding over dozens of kids, teenagers like yourself, with the understanding that their problems existed outside of these walls, that they come here to try and make those problems something that's manageable, to get a job, a good job. So if you can say anything that justifies your shifting around of classes, discouraging these students, and potentially ruining their lives, please Let me hear it.
If I don't, there's a good chance I'm gonna be killed.
I'm not going to kill you.
Not you.
Oh, really?
Yay for overly dramatic teens.
And who
You've
is
already...
coming to kill you?
Well, she can do this, but look, you've already been kind to me, and the other girls were great too. That's when I heard that you might have caught onto this. I'm willing to fall literally on my sword here, because I don't want anyone else to be affected. And I respect it if you say you don't want to know. That's fair. Let no, just go. But if you do want to know, then I can tell you. But I'm not being overly dramatic here.
Who is trying to kill you?
Various people, but most importantly, probably my sister. You see, my name is Audrey McCure,
Her,
and
she reacts to that.
there's a good chance that my sister has killed my parents, has tried to kill me multiple times, and the only way of literally I have of proving that I need more money than I have, and that's why I'm trying to build a kick-ass drone to make the money to get the equipment to unlock what I need to unlock and prove that she did it.
I have heard some tall tales in my time here.
Well, I could give you a sample of my hair, or we could just go through the next genetic ID. It will confirm who I am.
She nods. And how do I know you haven't hacked that system?
If I was that good, I wouldn't be staying here. No offense. Don't get me wrong, I can probably do it. It's an access problem. Sorry, technical details.
Why don't I just call Mercure over in House Curing?
Because you would be signing my death warrant.
She presses a button on her intercom. I guess desk-like phone. And there's a very, very muted ringing in the background. And somebody picks up and it becomes unmuted. It sounds like Peter's voice. She's not just speed dialing Mercure. And she tells him to get her a genetic ID scanner. He's a little confused, but he agrees and call ends. She crosses her arms and looks at Colleen. So, your sister, the head of a gigantic megacorporation,
Has been hunting me for the last year, yes. Across several planets, I've been shot at, my ship's been shot at.
and your uncle slash father, he has been protecting you?
Yeah.
Hey.
And what of the other gentleman with him?
He too, they're part of a ship crew. I've been helping them out. I'm really good with fixing things. Basically earning my keep. And then when we're currently stuck on this planet, it's my fault. They got stuck with me.
Do they know that they're in this danger with you?
Kinda. I don't think they realize all the implications. I've been trying to protect them. Shield them from the hard facts. I don't really want to hurt people. There's things I'm willing to do, there's things I don't want to do. When the rest of the other girls kind of became apparent, I don't want any of them to get dinged on something just because I changed the schedule.
They're not going to be dinged. When the Energy Concepts class is rescheduled. I don't think you understand how people work, Darlene.
No, I don't, because they constantly try to kill me and hunt me all over the place. There's people we tried to help, offered to kindly shoot us, take our shuttle, and take our ship. Just to give you an idea.
And this is all part of the Mercure plot against you.
Well, actually, if Colleen has a data pad, she would actually break up some of the history things and basically show her the entry of, this is when my parents died. I was supposed to die that day. I didn't. I survived. And then she found me. Ever since, people keep dying around me, so I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get by. Sometimes I'm struggling with that, it's not easy, I'm just trying to protect people I care about and somehow figure a way out of this.
You'll stay here until Peter comes back with the genetic ID scanner.
Of course.
In the meantime, I have work to do. Please sit quietly.
Anything I can help with?
No. And she does go to tapping away at her pad and console.
I'm really good with data entry.
That'll be enough, thank you. Any other interruptions from Colleen?
Yes, like 2 minutes later, okay, just give me something to do. Please.
You have your datapad in front of you.
Alright.
Just don't hack anything. It won't help your case. Colleen managed to occupy herself for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
She goes back to a private little project.
Oh. I'll need you to type out which one in the secret channel.
The latest one.
Yeah. Please type it. The latest one you already did type. Okay.
Yes. It's not a new project, it's putting time towards that. Time well spent.
Okay. Well, I knew it wasn't a new project, just she has a few projects that I'm tracking and need to know which of them. About 20 minutes later, Peter does come back. There is one other teacher that comes in between that, and it's a fairly quick conversation. He comes in, he sees Colleen in the corner. Well, not in the corner, but seated.
She's not in the corner with a stupid dunce cap on her
No,
head?
she's not. That's the mental image I have, but it's not what's actually been role played out.
Nobody puts Colleen in a corner.
There we go. Actually, no. The cap wouldn't say dunce. The cap would say, "I have been a manipulative little girl."
And
There's
the
not a
conversation.
chalkboard with I can't get away with things. I can't get away with things. But
Or what is it? I will not hack the school system to advantage myself. I will not hack the school system to advantage myself.
The conversation between her and the teacher that comes in is it's pretty quick. She essentially just asks if he changed the schedule, and he says no, and that's the gist of it. There are more words used, but she is clearly putting a lot of weight on the words of the teachers that she talks to, as opposed to what she's actually seeing on the screen. Sorry about that. And then Peter comes in. He has the genetic ID scanner. He sees Colleen. Hands it over to Tracy, and she tells Colleen to stand up.
she complies.
Okay. And she stands also, comes around the desk, and holds out the scanner. It's one of the arm scanners. Put your arm inside.
And so she does.
Okay. She closes it. It is a... It's a Lamiera scanner. As you've all been as you've all kind of come to understand that the different factions, so to speak, have their own different databases. Usually identified by the logo on the scanner. The scanners aren't different, the logos are. And after the reading is done, she comes away and plugs it into her data pad. After a couple minutes of authentication and all the other stuff that goes on, she nods her head. Sit back down.
She does.
Well, Audrey, that part of your story appears to be true.
Well, so's the rest.
If that is the case, then everywhere you go, you put people in danger.
Welcome to my world. It's kind of where I was going for the speed on this. Kind of. Speed is of the essence.
She kind of crinkles a brow and leans a little bit and says, so let me understand this. You're building a buggy. You're going to compete in the Wilds race coming up.
Yep.
And you needed a couple of thousands in winnings to save your life, or what was your plan?
Buy a supercomputer, decrypt the secret files I have that really literally require a lot of computing power the second my ship comes back. And after that, I plan to have the smoking gun to basically blow the lid off this all. Because at that point, it's not just my word, the word of me, saying, oh look, the head of a major corporation is trying to kill me.
You would do better to simply disappear. And I don't mean that in a violent way.
That doesn't work anymore.
Child,
We've
smoking
tried
gun
that.
or not, you will not prevail in any kind of expose or legal battle against Mercure Corps. You simply won't.
Well, I just need a failsafe.
And this computer,
That's the only option.
Do you just need a couple $1,000s?
270,000. Couple of dollars.
That's a lot of computing. You won't win that at the races.
Well,
Especially being an
depends on the race.
unknown. Nobody is going to bet on you.
Yeah, I want them to bet against me. I'm betting on myself.
You have money. You're betting on you and planning to win.
Yes. My biggest problem is I don't have enough money to do what I need to do.
Yeah, that could
And-
get you some money.
And for everything else, the problem is not money, but facilities and time. Well, sometimes it's just hard to make certain decisions. Because the other option was stealing the equipment, but that really felt wrong.
Go back to the
So I
workshop.
tried.
I'm not promising you'll get your second day, but continue work today.
Thank you. I'd like to point out the other girls are really, really helpful. So
Yeah, they're an
not all the waste
amazing
for them.
they're an amazing bunch, aren't they? She says that very pointedly.
Well, yeah. Thank you.
Don't thank me yet.
Well, at least you listened and didn't just open fire.
That's true.
Also, Thank you for having a planet where the atmosphere doesn't explode.
I didn't do much about that, but you're welcome.
And she would leave.
Alright, Colleen, as she's leaving, hears her, hit the intercom again and, ring ring, and as the door is making its way closed, Peter answers again. Does Colleen stay and listen, or does she continue on her way? The door is closed. She would have to be listening through the wall.
Well, she would try to listen through the wall.
Or door, whichever. She's telling Peter again to bring in Darius Rucker and the other guy.
Yep, that's me, the other guy.
Can't remember the first name Nemo
Neither
gave
can I.
to you.
I was gonna say, they can't even keep their secret identity straight.
I should start using that against you guys. Make you write it down, otherwise you'll run into wait, you said your name was.
Well, it's written down in chat. It's just way back.
Yeah, I would always give you a minute to try and find that. So yes, please do find out what the other guy's name is.
What the hell did I? And I'm trying to remember if I stuck it in discussion or in game.
You're telling me you don't have a giant conspiratorial text file?
Nope.
You're doing wrong.
I am doing it by the seat of my pants.
Oh yeah, Colleen would type out a quick message to Nemo's private receptor. They're gonna have a talk with you. Just say you don't know much. Except that I'm in danger. You're trying to help. Tell dude.
Let's see. Colleen is Darlene Lovejoy. Dude is Darius Rucker, and Nemo is Daniel Day.
Okay.
That's right.
Daniel Lewis Day?
No, just Daniel Day. Not Daniel Day Lewis. Just Daniel Day.
Well, shortly after Colleen's message, and just before her own arrival,
And Nemo will relay that message to Dude as well.
Peter comes in and it's over at Dude and Nemo. Can you two step outside with me for a minute?
Of course.
Oh yeah, man.
And he says, "Come with me." Yeah, well, after getting you outside the room, he not come with me, but he tells you that the headmistress would like to have a word.
Mm-hmm.
Escorts them to the office, passing Colleen on the way.
Real quick, I was trying to read through the chat thing while Colleen said what she passed on to Nemo. What did she say again?
That the headmisters would want to talk with us, and that we should just say that we don't know we don't know much other than that Colleen is in danger and that we're protecting her.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. You get to the headmistress. And she tells you to have a seat.
All right.
So Darlene registers as Audrey Mercure. Long dead or unborn child of Carl and Ginny Mercure.
Yeah, there was a reason that we'd been avoiding genetic scans.
And she seems to believe that there are people after her trying to kill her.
That seems very likely.
Well, I mean, not more than likely. Hell, there's been at least one mysterious kidnapping attempt.
Which is why we're taking steps to lay low currently.
About that, how is laying low going for you?
Not as well as we would have liked.
Well, yeah. Kind of hoping that, well, at least the impression that I got from the kid. Now, I'll tell you this for free. She's not always completely forthcoming with what she's got planned in her head, and I'm probably sure you can understand the frustration.
And she's very bad at self-preservation.
Well, yeah, there's that too. It is a difficult proposition trying to keep her out of trouble.
We're certainly not being paid enough for it.
Who's paying you?
Well, strictly speaking, nobody's paying us. We are part of a crew.
Uh-huh.
Hence why we're not being paid enough.
She's a member of our self-made family. So keeping her alive and out of trouble is just, comes with the territory.
So you don't think that this is a delusion?
On her part? No, I've seen some of the...
That someone wants to kill her? No, that is definitely not a delusion.
Nope. She's shown me at least a couple of bits of the weird computer proof of what's going on in her life, and definitely some weird stuff, but some of it's encrypted.
And Nemo has calculated many different ways of killing her.
He hasn't actually tried, though, so that doesn't qualify.
Yes.
Oh, if only Nemo knew.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be really honest, the biggest problem has been being on this planet. If we was off here, we'd have a lot less trouble keeping the... But, yeah, considering the Mercure family's here, it makes things much more difficult. The biggest problem, well, I don't know how much she told you, but if all we had to do was lay low, we'd probably be all right. But she feels the need to try and be proactive about putting a stop to what's going on, at least for them hunting her life, and for that she needs some thing, really expensive hunk of junk, to crack some kind of files she's got to maybe, take the technology battle to their end. And so that's why we're helping her out with this bug erase thing. My preference would have been absolutely to stay under the radar, get off this planet when we can. I would have liked to have not inconvenienced you and your kids. I really like what you do here. I've enjoyed working with the couple kids that I've been able to help them better their lives, and I'd like that to have just been all I was doing here.
But it isn't, is it?
At this exact moment, No, that's what we're working on that thing down in the
Okay.
place. I mean, I got no other plans for anything happening at this school other than trying to help you guys out. I mean, hell, if we'd been able to get her out of the last situation she was in safely, you wouldn't have known anything.
I would have preferred that.
Well, I don't doubt it.
I can't let you stay here. There are too many under my care. If you believe what she is saying, then whether I believe any of this, it becomes irrelevant.
Understandable. We'll move off to we can move to different locations, certainly.
Good then.
Are we going to get kicked out on the street in like 5 minutes?
Yes, get your belongings.
Well, kid's going to be unhappy about it.
Yes. Won't that be sad?
There's no way you can just give us another day?
Would you consider it worth the risk?
My barometer on that's weird. I think I'd give you the wrong answer.
23,
Well, I think I'd give you an answer.
23 kids. Between the youngest we have is 12. Oldest are pushing 19. They're kids to us. They could be our own kids. They come from hard. Has Trisha told you her last name? What name she gave to herself?
Nope. I've only run into her once.
Dub. Say that.
Dub?
Mm-hmm. Now say her first name and her last name.
Trisha Dub?
She couldn't get Dup. The naming clerk was too clever for her, and then she was too clever for the next one. She got Dub. Trish, shut up. Trish, shut up. It is all she heard her entire childhood. Trish, shut up.
Well, I can tell you that I've never had any intention people here. But I can't promise you that I wouldn't prioritize the kid. No, it was fair.
There are 22 other stories like hers, some worse, some just want to be here.
Well, we'll hit the road.
Concerns are perfectly understandable and valid. We will make sure not to endanger any of the children under your charge.
Now, I'm hoping that you didn't try to report any of this in.
I haven't called anyone yet.
Because that certainly would have set the dogs on us.
She is staring at you both and waiting.
Yes, Nemo will sub-vocalize the dude at this point. I assume elimination is. I assume elimination is still considered out of the picture.
Dude looks over at Nemo, says, "All right, man, come on, let's hit the road."
Let's go.
And hit the road is not a key a phrase for a code phrase.
It is.
At no point has Dude established a code phrase with Nemo that has the meaning of kill this person. I don't know that he ever will.
Would you kindly?
Mm-hmm. And they get up and head out.
I'll go and collect the drone.
All right.
Is he saying that out loud?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yes.
That is her self-defense. It's kept her out of trouble more than once.
Has it?
Let's not have this discussion. She gets up. I'll give you her drone back.
Much appreciated. The dude looks at Nemo and says, you alright carrying that? I'll go let the kid know.
Yeah, it won't be a problem.
Alright. And dude heads back to the lab.
Nemo goes to collect Colleen's drone from the locker.
Okay. Tracy obviously has to unlock it unless he's just gonna break in.
He is not going to break it unless someone isn't going to unlock it for him. He is certainly not going to break it. No.
Okay. Yeah, she unlocks it and hands it to him. You can see that all of the various parts that make the drone go and the power sources that make the drone go and the parts, the ammunition that make the gun go bang, are separated.
Nemo will keep those parts separate. He'll collect everything, but he'll keep those parts separated.
Okay. Alright. Dude returns to the workshop. It'll take Nemo a couple minutes to get there because of all the unlocking and such.
Yep. And pulls the kid to the side. Alright, kid. She's giving us the boot.
Alright.
I get the impression you're, well, she's taken the, people hunting for your life story pretty seriously, and she is unwilling to put any of the rest of these people at risk just to keep us safe. Guess she doesn't like you that much.
Oh.
No, I can see what you have to do to keep people alive.
Well, I think the biggest question is, how pissed you think she'd be if we took what we've finished on the drone? Well, how big is this thing? Is this this is too big for a person to physically carry, right?
You're trying to steal an RC car.
No, but how big of an RC car are these?
I kind of gave you a reference last week.
I'm trying to remember.
Okay. I think we're all familiar with paper boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit, the body would be about the size of, about the dimensions of the paper box. A little bit bigger.
All right, so it's actually smaller than I was thinking.
Yeah.
Alright.
Like I said, a Chihuahua could drive it.
Hmm.
If, Chihuahuas drove.
How much of is what with what we were able to finish in the half day we had? Is it even in single piece?
No. You've still got things in planning stages, in parts.
So there's nothing we could take as while we're going out that would be really much of any use without the workshop it's in.
The materials, but yeah, no. At this stage, you're starting to construct things, but it it might be more effort just to pack it all up and then unpack it and set it up right than
Just starting over.
yeah. Well, taking the materials and then starting over with that would be about the same.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, she's giving us the boot, kid. You think it's worth taking any of this stuff, or just start over with another plan?
Well, even if we took the stuff, we don't have the people to do it.
Yeah, and the race is in 2 days, so we're missing that.
Back to the drawing board.
Well, you want to head back to your room and get your stuff?
In a moment. In a couple of minutes.
All right. I tried to see if she'd give us another day, but she wasn't willing.
Some of the kids have picked up on the somber tone here, and there's a noticeable quiet.
Mm-hmm. Dude says, well, you can go ahead and let everybody know. I'm gonna head back to my space and grab the rest of our stuff. Nemo's coming back with the drone, so.
And
we
Nemo
should be
arrives.
Here's your drone. Its offensive capabilities is currently disabled. I assume the staff here would prefer if we did not rearm and reactivate it until we've left the grounds.
He hasn't paid any attention. Nemo just sucks the drone. I've missed you.
Who's mommy's little girl? Who's mommy's little girl?
Jesus.
She puts it in her backpack and then she lets those two bugger off. She go and talk to Trish.
Yeah, she's one of the reasons for the quiet. She's just kind of anxiously watching you guys as she's pretending to do something, but clearly just paying attention to you.
Yeah, dude heads back to their little living space to pack up the rest of what little stuff he's got.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Colin reaches Trisha.
Yeah, she just pull her aside. Well, good news, you don't have to worry about a thing. Bad news, they don't really let me continue with the project.
What did you do?
Oh, hack the system. Reshuffled the schedule, made sure there were absolutely no traces of any of my activity.
She rolls her eyes.
That and the schoolmistress thinks that I'm a clear present danger to everyone, just by being here. Which is fair. Still, it was nice to have other regular people around for
So,
once.
are you leaving?
Yup.
She gets a little teary-eyed.
Sorry, Trish, you'll manage. Actually, got something for you. Might make your life easier.
She hugs Darlene.
He's not all that used to being hugged. What she hugs her back.
Yeah, she lets go after a little while.
Ed, come on. Give me your card stick for a second.
What?
Give me your card stick for a second.
She fishes it out of a pocket.
Promise me to at least buy yourself some cake at some point. She does transfer 1,000 credits.
She looks down at her New Balance and her eyes go wide. She hugs Colleen again. And Trish will apparently miss Colleen.
Well, if that's the result of it all, then it was totally worth it.
This does get the interest of some of the other students there. Now there's obviously something going on. Even Joanna is kind of interested in whatever's going on here. And Colleen has asked, so are you ever coming back?
Oh, I will be back. One day, I will be back. You'll see. They'll all see. Honestly, I don't know. It depends on where I fly next to. Plan to?
Fly like in a ship?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it gets a so cool reaction from some of them. And a eye roll from others. It's not that cool.
It is if it is the Raza.
Does Colleen say that?
No. Hell no. what she's thinking yet.
Okay. Yeah, that would be.
No, she's not walking out with kind of both hands up, kind of giving the finger backwards and going rather rules. Yeah, this is not a ton of snakes moment.
All right. There's a little bit more emotion, mainly from the girls, but a couple of the boys also that had interacted with Colleen. When it becomes more obvious and clear that Colleen is leaving, and this project is leaving with her. Colleen says her goodbyes, or does she just leave it?
Nah, she would say goodbyes at least basically to her roommates and stuff.
Okay. All right. What else is she doing?
Well, saying goodbye to collecting her stuff. She would step outside. I don't suppose there's rain today.
Let's see.
Do you have to roll for a cliche?
Yeah, I'm rolling for cliche. No rain.
Fine. I'll try to make it easy on you. What's the weather like today?
We'll go with cloudy.
Cloudy with chance of rain?
Sure.
Well, looks to the cloudy sky. Looks briefly behind her. Picks up her little data pad. And shoots up a message. Zoe, I need your help.
Okay. Rejoin Dude and Nemo. Were they waiting out front? Did Dude or Nemo have any loose ends to wrap up?
Nope.
Dude didn't. He just grabbed his stuff and headed probably towards the front.
Yep.
Seems like the most likely.
So, to do while waiting for Glean to show up, so presumably now we can now we can abandon the idea of trying to raise money for that computer hardware and focus on simply hiding.
You know, I'd like to think
Still
so.
amazes me how you don't get what the main objective being on this planet is.
Nemo just doesn't care about that objective.
Well, Nemo has a completely different objective.
Yes, exactly.
Alright. Colleen has not heard back from Zoe just yet. What are you guys doing?
Colleen goes for cake.
Oh.
Well, as she doesn't report us to the authorities, at least these current identities are okay. So I think the easiest thing to do right now would be to... I mean, I'm assuming this planet has hotels.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And motels and shit like that.
They're less common in House Charon, but there are still hotels. Yes.
All right. So I figure let's find a place to bed down for the night. What I put together should at least hold up for basic scrutiny at a room desk. So,
Remind me, we're still look. I completely lost track of when the ship is expected back.
Nobody knows.
Well, you were told 5 days, at least.
Yes, and that was how long ago?
That was. Let's see. Hang on. Timeline. Alright, you guys are on the 17th. And it's actually the 17th of February, not March, as I joked last session.
Mm-hmm.
And the ship left on the 14th.
Right, so that was 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, given optimal conditions, we only need 2 more days.
well,
Still, I think it would be prudent to find a temporary place to lay low while you create new cover identities, and we find a more long-term solution while we wait for the return.
yeah, let's find a place to bed down. Honestly, I could use a meal too. You want to try and find a restaurant?
While I don't eat myself, I would be happy to observe you while you do it.
I'm gonna watch you eat.
Yes.
Alright. Is
Well,
Colleen made it back out yet?
It's
Yeah.
really more about it's really more about observing other people in social interaction than it is observing dude specifically eating. But
Yeah, I said that Colleen joins you.
What do you want, kid? Let's get something.
I was gonna go and get cake.
Alright. I'm sure we can find a restaurant that's got cake and other food too.
Oh, I know the perfect cake place.
Has it got something other than cake?
How would I know?
Yeah, alright.
You head to the restaurant that Colleen recommends. Or the location, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, it turns out it does have other things than cake.
I was gonna say, as long as it's not just a bakery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It'll just get something basic to eat and leave it at that. And then once we're done, try and find a hotel to bed down in.
Before you get to that point, Colleen does receive a message back from her secret friend. Well, not so secret.
Secret to some people.
True. It's simply asking what do you need.
She would actually send her, I need equipment for memory project. Need to have this ready for when the ship comes back. The ship in quotation marks. And she gives her need to make sure that nobody can trace that. I just don't have enough money to do it. And she would give her like the specs and even the vendor information.
Okay.
Is there something you can do?
All right.
Yes, don't let your father find out. Don't want to be kidnapped again.
Colleen doesn't hear back immediately. Is Colleen eating anything other than cake?
Well, I would imagine a good coffee/mocha comes with a nice wafer on the side.
Okay. So she's aiming towards getting sick, or making herself sick.
No, she's not overeating, but she's sticking to sugar and caffeine.
Right. I'm not saying overeating. She's
Eating poorly.
yes. Her body is going to
Well,
begin protesting the forms of nutrition that she is attempting to use.
she had nutrition at the school.
Yes, that is true.
That you can easily go there too with just that, without ill effects.
Yeah, but when you just layer sugar all over it, it changes things a little bit.
Well, she's not eating it by the bucket load. This is not. She's eating entire cakes at this point.
Okay. She's not getting sick right now. She will have to eat some normal food intermittently at the very least.
Yes.
Okay.
This is more. I'm sitting in a cafe having my drink with something sweet while I think. Not. This is my entire diet. I live only off that.
Okay.
Be sure, when she overeats, I will make it known.
What's that?
I said when she overeats, I will make it known. When she goes on a real food binge with crazy stuff.
Okay. All right. You guys are about 2/3 through your meal when Colleen gets a call. It's actually a call ringing on her datapad.
Is it a number she recognizes?
No, but it does come with caller ID. It's Tyrus Tech.
But she does take the call.
Okay.
Go for Darlene.
It's the older man whose full name I have forgotten, but something Tyrus.
Hello, Mr. Forgotten.
Mr. Tyrus. We'll go with that. And he regretfully informs her that he no longer has the computing gear she was hoping to buy. And he apologizes.
That's alright. Well, at least the gear's sold.
He asks if she would like him to try and find and order some more.
If he could just hold off on that for the moment. Once she gets the funds, she would just contact him and then do it directly, so he's not in a situation where he might just sit on his inventory.
Okay. He expresses disappointment in not being able to see this computing computing hardware installed, but says give him a call if she needs anything else.
Alright, thank you. Well, this was either good or really, really bad.
A few minutes later, she gets a text from Zoe. Says, "That was really expensive. I think my dad's going to notice."
Have you tried cooking the books?
She says he's smarter than that.
Well, that's probably where you got it from.
Duh, XOXO.
Just tell him it's for a private engineering project.
And she
I mean,
gets
if he's that smart and you show him that, he'll notice that it doesn't do anything without certain pieces of hardware.
And she
I believe in you.
she responds again, "Hey, he's not that dumb." Follows that up with an ominous. Well, yeah, I mean, as ominous as it can be made to look in text, maybe some ellipses here and there. Says, "Dad sees through everything." You guys, unless you chatter amongst yourselves, you enjoy the rest of your meal in silence. Relative silence. There's people talking around you.
Mm-hmm.
Nemo will casually be observing them, and he'll also switch his standby his interception protocols back to Ultimakur and Raza.
Okay.
Colleen spends the time looking up what does it take on this planet to rent a shuttle for a day or two.
Oh, it's fairly easy.
Shuttle, not a shuttle with a pilot, a shuttle.
Ah. It's still fairly easy, except that you have to have a pilot on an aptitude card. So, for a normal person who knows how to pilot, it's very easy. For a person who does not have an aptitude card that knows how to pilot, it's very difficult.
But if you're a person who knows how to pilot, but you don't have an aptitude card?
It's very difficult. It's not something that you'll be able to do through legitimate company. Anyone who is keeping books and is doing things by the books will have to have the aptitude card on file and basically prove that you're not going to accidentally drive this shuttle into a bus full of senior citizens.
Alright, in that case, Colleen would start to look for very specific offers, as in rent a shuttle with a pilot, where it's one of those gigs where the pilot is on file and supposedly is on board, but definitely isn't.
Okay. It'll take her some time to try and go through the listings to find stuff that's essentially encoded. What are Dude and Nemo doing?
I mean, at this point, best we can manage is running interference.
Well, how do you mean interference?
Well, if whatever Colleen is getting up to starts pulling notice, or
Ah. Well, let's say for the rest of the evening. Are you doing anything for the rest of the evening? So right now, Colin is just searching on her datapad.
nah, dude's not doing anything.
Other than finding us a place to
Well, yeah.
spend the night.
Okay. Well, that's easy enough if you're putting forth ID credentials. Oh yeah, ID, and paying money for it. Then hotel rooms will have your identity on file and let you stay.
I mean, obviously, the fake identity.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as the headmistress didn't call us in, we should be okay.
Now you're not getting a nice hotel unless you're willing to pass through genetic scanners.
We are certainly not looking for a nice hotel either.
Okay.
Bed and a
Alright.
blanket.
Yeah. You still end up with a nice hotel. It is still clean, as is pretty much required to be.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't have any kind of amenities. It doesn't have any bonus features. You've got it doesn't even provide any Wi-Fi amplification or boosting.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go ahead and do an int program roll for what Colleen's searching.
Not connect. I mean, don't get me wrong, in program is the better stat, but in this case she is trying to find the right people for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess I would say connect would be a better one. As usual, you could choose to roll the int program, but it would get you different results. Int connect would be would get you a little bit more people-friendly results, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it would be more of a connecting. This is really finding the right shady kinds of people that know how to do that and be discretionary.
I'm still going to make you do it with int, though.
I very much appreciate that.
Go ahead and roll. Okay. There are some interesting leads that she can either try to follow up tonight or pursue in the morning.
Yeah, for the time being, she would follow up on it. this is lining things up. And then doing things probably very quickly, hastily, and under fear of death.
Oh boy!
So, she's trying to take care of things ahead of time, so, yep. She keep at it.
Okay. Huh. Hang on real quick. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to have happen here.
That probably wasn't important then.
I think I already did it with
Something
Zoe sending message that yeah, she got the equipment.
Mhm.
Well, she didn't outright say she got the equipment. It was more like this was expensive.
Yeah. Mhm.
It was implied.
Yes. Okay. You guys sleep through the night. Plus 1 day.
Huzzah!
I believe that puts you guys on the 18th now.
Mhm.
Sounds about right.
Colin can follow up on the shuttle inquiries.
Yes, no questions asked shuttle service.
No questions, but lots of money.
Okay, maybe some questions asked.
Well, lots of money is still not all that much money to you guys.
Alright, a bunch of questions, but less money.
This feels more like a binary thing to me. You either get the one question you really don't want, which is, do you have an aptitude card, or you shell out a fair amount of money. Well,
I left my
an
aptitude
unfair
card
amount of money.
in my other starship?
That answer will work for the unfair amount of money. You're seeing people that will rent out a shuttle for between 3,000 to 7,000 credits a day.
Alright. And then she would check with Zoe, as in, when can you get that stuff to me? I need to get that loaded once the ship returns.
You get a message back that you can come pick it up whenever you want. And then another message a few seconds later.
It's not at your
Do you
villa,
need
is
me to
it?
send it somewhere?
It would help. But, I mean, if you wanna... Can you get... You probably can't get out of that house for like a day or so just to hang out, right?
Not really. Besides, it's pretty obvious when I go places these days.
It's like, yeah, the fun never ends.
pains of being a
Colleen would actually.
princess. She actually sends that. The pains of being a princess.
Now, I wonder if it would be the same pains if you were Princess Pain.
Yeah, this isn't even first world problems at this point.
No.
Yeah. Colleen just sends back, it's not easy being royalty. She considered a sarcastic emoji behind it, but she figured even if she put it on there, it would be lost. But yes, she would actually see if there's... I mean, they must have some sort of minor space dock in this city.
Oh yeah.
Or like commercial flights.
Mhm.
Yeah, she would see if you could like short-term rent some storage space next, basically a dedicated shuttle pad.
It wouldn't necessarily be next to a dedicated shuttle pad, but it not going to be like miles distant. But yes, she can rent some storage space.
Well, basically, she wants to rent like storage space and like the helipad for like a day or two, as in needs to be cleared. For my
Oh, so
usage
she's
when I need it.
actually gotcha.
Then she tries to land something or start something, and it goes, yeah, occupado.
Okay. Is she including Dude and Nemo in any of this?
I'd like to vigorously say no.
If you vigorously say no, you will have to vigorously RP with Dude and Nemo for how Colleen leaves their watchful eye.
Oh, that's easy. Colleen is in her room.
We didn't get multiple rooms.
No, you actually didn't.
Colleen would have gotten her own room in that case. I mean, adjacent at best, but she would not have bunkered down with those two.
Okay. As long as nobody raises a complaint at that, or an issue with that.
I like to think the
maybe-
dude probably would have had an issue with that.
Okay.
Well, we can totally RP out the issue. Perfectly fine with that.
Please do.
So if we're at the
Yeah, it's a little bit retro RP,
desk,
but you're
yeah,
at the desk.
it's so we're at the desk. I'm assuming now they do have multiple rooms available, right?
Mhm.
You're not just going to give me they only had one room.
No, they've got multiple rooms.
Mm-hmm.
You can even get adjacent. That will be a possibility if it gets to that.
Mm-hmm. But it wouldn't be difficult to get one room with 3 beds.
No.
Actually, we only need 2 beds.
That's actually what my
Have a
brain
wall
parsed.
outlet.
It would be difficult to get one room with 3 beds, but not with 2 beds.
Yes. So, dude would have basically gone up to the counter and started trying to get a room with one room with 2 beds. I'll leave it up to Colleen to object to that.
Or she wouldn't object. She would just wait till he has the key, walks off, and I'd like a room, please.
He wouldn't leave her at the counter.
Well, as in, once he has the keys and everything, it looks like he's done, and expectedly, she would come up to the counter and go, I'd like a room, please.
So he's still there.
Yeah. Kid, I already got us a room.
I don't think so.
We only need one room.
I disagree on that.
Well, you can
So I'm
certainly...
not bunking down with the 2 of you.
I'm kind of make that not optional, kid. We got enough going on here that we need to be able to get our stuff and go, and not have to track anybody else down.
Well, and I'll be right here.
The clerk is able to hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're going off-world in a day, kid. Hopefully.
Well, and to the clerk, do you have anything adjacent to them?
He says he does.
Well, I'll take that one, please.
Looks at her, looks at dude, and then,
You find whatever, man.
looks back at her and completes the transaction. Gives her a room.
Thank you.
Alright, so Colleen is in a separate room. We're back to the morning.
All right. Before the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At some point during the night, dude will, Can I say that dude would have grabbed at least a couple of bits of basic scrap type materials from the work areas that we'd been working in before we left?
That seems stretching a bit. You guys weren't planning to continue the buggy build.
No.
And that was all school material.
Mhm.
It doesn't seem like that's something that would be an obvious, yeah, he could have done that.
Yeah, and unfortunately the toolbox that he's got doesn't actually come with anything. It just comes with tools.
This is where that MacGyver focus would be handy.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what dude is trying to do right now, but I still think that would probably be in line with what he's trying to do.
Oh yeah. Well, what I'm trying to think of.
I mean, if he wants to borrow some scrap.
Sort of the whole point of this is that Colleen doesn't know. Actually, what am I thinking? Nemo.
Yes.
This will be when we're back in our, at some when we've gotten into our individual.
Mhm.
You can just kind of do your android rest standing in one spot, right?
Absolutely.
Why don't you just take your rest standing with your back to her door? I'm assuming these doors open outwards, right?
No, they would open inwards. From the outside going in, the door opens into the room.
All right. Well, it's still just a 2-foot doorway. Yeah. Would you be all right with putting your back to her door and then just taking your rest?
It is. Wouldn't that be out in the hallway?
It would be.
Yeah.
Well, there is the likelihood of other patrons of this establishment seeing this and considering the behavior unusual.
Yeah. If I had a bit of electronics on me, I could probably put together some kind of sensor on her door, but I ain't got the materials I need right now. Unless I can look around the room and see a lamp that I could cobble together into something like that.
That kind of building equipment is supposed to take longer than a few hours.
I mean, we're not talking like remote trigger, radio broadcast or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if it came to it, we'd be talking running a wire out of my door against her door that will turn on or off a light if she opens her door.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's still going to take him some time, but something real primitive and rudimentary
Yeah.
could be done.
If necessary, could he use some of Nemo's hit points as spare parts?
No, his parts are a little bit too fleshy for that.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, if we're talking hotel motel, I'm assuming they have a couple of lamps and something resembling an alarm clock or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could like chop off a couple of Nemo's toes.
Right.
Take a finger. Hey, pull my finger.
The thing got a piezo speaker in it, I'm assuming. Well, something equivalent.
I don't know what a piezo speaker is. It's a lamp. It has lamp stuff.
Well, no, the alarm clock thing.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Something to make noise.
Yes, it is
All
an
right.
alarm clock that makes noise.
All right. Well, as long as he can leave at least one lamp in the room that still has has electricity, he's gonna cut together a handful of wires, a couple of bits from the alarm clock, and wire together something that he can place against her door, the corner of her door, kind of running along the edge of the hallway between our two rooms, so that if her door opens, it sets off a little buzz. And I'm perfectly willing to roll fix on that.
Okay. With some, not conditions, obstacles to what may be his design. It's not going to be a little buzz. It's going to be the alarm clock buzz.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Then yeah, go ahead and roll a fix and.
Yeah, that is actually more useful.
Okay.
Also, I feel like asking, does Colleen notice people fucking around her door?
Well,
Sneaky, suspicious figures in the hallway.
Yeah, the entire build of this is going to be contained in the room. I will totally roll stealth to place the trigger against her door corner.
Okay. So let's do that part first. The fix part.
Yep. Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, it's been a new scene since Colleen used her expert reroll. So speaking of expert reroll, are you going to let that sit?
Fuck it, I might as well re-roll it.
What he's trying to do isn't particularly difficult, and it's not something that he can really fail unless he accidentally fucks up some of the parts, which he could with a bad roll.
Blows himself up.
Does this roll feel enough?
It's enough to do it. It's just taking him a long time. The roll is for how long does this actually take, dude?
Gotcha.
Because I can't justify like I said, unless he rolled really low, I couldn't justify you actually being unable to do this.
Right.
He knows how to do these things.
Right. It won't take all night with that roll, will it?
It would take pretty much all night with that roll. Pretty much, 7 hours instead of 8.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually going to put that at 6.
Problem is my sneak roll is even worse. So if I use the reroll on this...
Mm-hmm.
Just if Nemo plays it.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, I will reroll the fix.
Okay. That's certainly a lot better.
Slight improvement there.
Yes.
Okay. It still takes him 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
but it is, in theory, functional. He can test it if he wants to make the loud alarm noise.
Nah, he feels pretty confident in his build.
Okay. I think there's
And this
actually even a... oh, you know what? I was supposed to have you roll that at the time of activation with jury-rigged stuff. I mean, you still would have been able to use your expert reroll.
Ah.
But yeah, jury-rigged builds are supposed to be tested at the time of activation.
Fun.
What was that, Mel?
We'll remember that. I just said fun.
Yeah.
We'll remember that next time.
And what I'm envisioning is basically just something that can be placed against the bottom corner of the door, attached to the end of the wire, that will just detect whether or not the door pulls away. So as soon as the door opens, it just sets the alarm off.
Okay.
All right.
Would you like me to install that for you?
Yeah, please. Try not to wake her up.
Alright, so Dex Stealth.
That would be a dex stealth.
Yep. Use Social Chameleon, of course. Choose aliens.
Actually, I can't find where I saw that they get tested at the time of activation.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. That is very silent. If you want, Nick, you can...
Silent as a ninja.
Mm-hmm. You can roll Colleen's Whiz Notice. Can she actually even meet that result with her Whiz Notice?
I think a double 6 might... Give me a second here. Let me calculate that. I think it would come out to a double 6 or something.
Including the -1 from her headache?
Yeah, that's why I'm including that. Let's see.
Huh.
No, she can't.
Okay, I didn't think so. I thought
With only because of the headache.
So she's got a neutral whiz, and she does have a rank of notice.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Colleen is none the wiser.
And then Nemo will sneak back into the room and sleep and go to a sleep cycle.
Dude will sleep with the alarm clock close to him.
Okay.
What? In what time frame did all of this happen? Kinda how fast was he able to put that together, have that installed?
Well, it took 2 hours. Matt, when did he start working on it?
I mean, not long after they got into the room, you know, when they were going to be bedding down for the... I mean, from when they would have been going to sleep.
Yeah, I'll say that you got into the hotel room at about 8 o'clock.
Alright, so it was, let's say, installed from shortly after 10?
10,
Maybe
11.
started working on it right after?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, the alarm does go off.
What is Colleen doing?
Getting coffee.
in the morning.
Colleen is working through the night on making the arrangements.
She's not got a coffee maker in the room.
Even if she had, unless they really have really good coffee there, she is not going to use that instance well.
Mm-hmm.
So the alarm just goes off at like 11?
Shortly after.
Now, I do have to ask, Nick, wouldn't Colleen have gotten the coffee before going to the room? She knows she's planning to stay up.
And she drank it, and she's getting some more.
It's...
I mean, in this case, it's not terribly... Unless, let's say, the next coffee place was, like, super far away.
Mm-hmm.
This is more like, I need to think, I'm getting myself fresh coffee, it's her version of pacing. But she doesn't like this well. That's why. So yes, unless it's super inconvenient, as in really inconvenient to get the coffee. If it's as easy as kind of going down, coffee bars like street down, she'd go there, get coffee, probably maybe something to eat depending on what they have, and then just head back.
Yeah, I mean, it would be that convenient.
But no, Colleen is also not the type to buy like 3 coffees, let them go cold. As I said, her version of pacing is getting coffee.
Okay. Hang on real quick. Sorry about that. Okay, so yes, the alarm does trigger at a little bit, well, actually a little bit after it's placed.
Well, I wouldn't have disabled the snooze function, so... Dude will reach over, smack it.
I kind of pictured this as taking apart the alarm clock so you could get at the pieces and make the necessary adjustments with things such as soldering irons, which he has in his tool belt. So it's not functioning like a normal alarm clock anymore.
Okay.
There's no snooze. He'll have to do something to...
Well, he would have given some way to turn it off. He would have given himself at least a little like switch or a little wire he can pull out just to go.
Okay.
To shut it up. Just to try and make it so it's accessible.
Okay. So the alarm does go off for a little bit.
No question. How audible is that?
This is audible. There's an alarm clock in another room.
Yeah, it is audible. Well, the location that you're at makes it less audible. It's still audible within the room, but the whole clean and considerate aspect of this place, ideology really, puts more into insulation.
See, they had no noise pollution.
So I would, if you want Colleen to have a chance of noticing it, it would be a whiz notice check.
Well, it means she's not paying particular attention, but let's see if she actually... if it does reach her ear.
Okay. I would actually say that that's a miss by the headache.
That's perfectly fine.
Um.
For Colleen has no reason to suspect.
mhm.
Yeah, it would have been a 6 otherwise. But since you were putting her out there as being unsuspecting, I put the difficulty at 8. She may have
That's
heard
fine.
it in the back of her mind. It's just not registering.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. And even if it was like, okay, an alarm is going off, it's more like, did she hear the audible signal? She
Well,
didn't.
also
Fine.
point out she has a wayfield disadvantage. All this sound suppression stuff and the noise pollution ideology is so strange that her well all of yours thoughts would be not your guys' thoughts. The common person coming here from somewhere else would think, man, that alarm is so soft, it must be from several rooms down. So just throwing that out there as well for, the lack of suspicion.
Well, considering what he was anticipating, dude was actually just sleeping in his clothes.
Okay. Okay. That's fair.
So once he pulls the little plug on the thing, looks at, checks the time. And he heads over to the door and opens it briskly as if he's just kind of walking out. Colleen's still in the hallway at this point?
Yes.
Look up. Oh, hey, kid. Couldn't sleep?
Yep, need more coffee.
Well, those two things will go hand in hand. If you stop drinking the coffee, maybe you'd actually be able to sleep.
I've got things to do.
Really? What the hell we got to do but wait?
Well, give it some thought. She goes for coffee.
Dude will actually walk with her. And I figured I'd go down and get a snack.
Well, if you want to tag along, I'm sure the coffee place has a bite to eat, I would imagine. I found some
sounds
great
good.
places while I was here.
Yeah, fair enough. So you're still angling to get that thing, ain't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well. Come up with any ideas yet?
Well, I'm looking for ways to get it off the planet at this point.
Wait, I think you missed a step there. Then one step still actually getting the thing?
That's handled.
Really?
Yeah, I told you I didn't want to call Zoe, not that I wouldn't call Zoe. What good is it to be the princess of a frickin' city if you can't buy nice things?
Yeah, but I mean, you had reasons for not dragging her into this, and the reasons are still pretty goddamn valid.
The reason was because I had a better idea at the time.
Well, obviously not, because the better idea got us kicked out of that place, and this idea has probably unintended consequences.
Everything does.
You're gonna get kidnapped
It's
again.
just I'll try not to.
I mean, Zoe, what's the hell was her name? LaRue, right? Is that who that was?
Well, I have a list in my contact list as my sweet chocolate cake, but that's a code name.
Right, but I mean, she's the one that's from the LaRue family that kidnapped you, right?
Well, technically, she's also the little that kind of sprung me from there, but yes.
Well, right. But she sprung you legitimately, right?
Well, more like, Daddy, Daddy, please let her go.
Right. So, you being back in touch with her isn't gonna get Daddy back and interested, because he's already cool with you being out and about, right?
Well, it depends on how many questions Daddy asks.
I thought he asked all the questions. That's how we were, because otherwise that's why we couldn't get you out of there, because they still wanted you. If he'd been done with the questions, they would have just handed you over to us when we pretended to be somebody else.
No? What do you think is happening on this planet?
Well, as far as I could tell, it's standard bullshit big money power struggles.
Yes, you have that everywhere, but more specifically involving us and our situation.
Well, we got a whole different situation, trying to stay away from the Galactic Mandate. But these guys don't talk with the Galactic Mandate. That's the only reason we're able to stay under the radar. That's why they left.
Yes, amongst other things. But yes, main reason is it is good to have a LaRue in your corner.
Well, that's why I guess I get that. That's why I'm just saying.
In this case, at least parts of LaRue and I, we have common interests. Because we're having the basic problem. We're being hunted down and we don't know why. We're stepping into traps because we don't know a thing. And that needs to stop.
Wait.
We can't fix this. We can't run forever. We need to know what's going on.
Now you talking about we, us, or we, you, and Zoe, or we as in?
Well, Zoe as a party that was subjected to the same thing.
So they wiped her memory
But
too?
yes, her memory got wiped. By the same way ours did. I mean, she was there with us when it happened.
Well, the records say that.
The records at this point are holding up.
That's true. Doesn't mean it can't still be bullshit.
Well, you can... Either everything could be bullshit, in which case you can't trust anything, in which case you can be so paranoid there is no point to it, or you go with the simplest explanation that some of the facts that we could have verified, like the records that I pulled from the computer, are actually genuine. You know, everything else was scrubbed, and it corresponds to some of the files I have.
Oh yeah, I don't think the other answer. Well, the answer isn't necessarily paranoia if you don't believe anything. For me, the answer is I don't believe anything until it's actually, shown up in my face. I'll take evidence as evidence of possibility. But considering how many things have turned out to be different already, but I don't look at it as paranoia. I look at it as just not worrying about it until it comes up.
Yeah, and it keeps coming up. We need to know. We cannot afford to not know. I know the captain doesn't want that. She'd like to keep running, and running, but we're running literally out of space. At some point, there will be not one mainland ship, there might be two. Or three. Or hell, we're on the wrong planet at the wrong time, and everybody knows us, but we don't know anybody.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the part where I might have a sister that either might love me, or might try to kill me, or might love me, killed my parents, or killed my parents and hates me and tries to kill me, but all she really wants is for me to love her. You see where that's getting complicated.
Oh, yeah. I'm just more of the attitude of get off this planet and then start looking into it. I'd prefer not to stir things up while we're sitting here and don't have a backup plan to get the fuck off. I'm not
I
saying
got a plan. I just
stop.
need to load the equipment.
Well, how big was that fucking thing?
Well, it's portable enough.
Portable enough as in Nemo can carry it, or portable enough as in we can load a truck?
I'm not sure there's a difference.
Size, mostly.
It's not excessive. It's not like it's a giant ship module.
Think of it like you've got 4 or 5 computer towers of my variety.
But it is a single thing?
No, it's separate pieces.
Okay.
That sure helps me picture it, Mike.
My computer tower is not small. It's not one of the smaller ones that are making their rounds around these days.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, we'll go back to the universal measuring system. It's about 6 to 8 boxes of paper.
Duly noted.
Metric or imperial paper?
Yes.
Are we talking 8.5 by 11, or are we talking the British A4? Come on. Card stock?
I will note that I do need to leave like at 12.
Well,
Also, I mean, just for the cases do have a form factor that you could reference. Hence, the confusion on our side.
well, kid, just let me know what the hell is going on. I'm tired of not being involved and then having to try and figure shit out, follow along behind you. We're not trying to stop you, we're just trying to make sure that we know what the hell is going on. So if you keep fiddling around and then fill us in way later, it gets way more problematic to actually help you.
Well, it usually never really feels like you're actually trying to help. As I said, the captain just seems to keep wanting to run, and it's not working.
That is your opinion, kid. Doesn't make it any more or less valid than anybody else.
No, but what I do based upon that opinion is just as valid as everybody else.
Yeah, maybe. You still got to start taking other people into account. At some point, you're going to get yourself into a situation that you can't get out of yourself, and there ain't going to be anybody around to help you because nobody knows where the fuck you are. Oh, wait. That already happened.
Yeah, there's reasons for that.
Yeah, Well, they weren't good reasons.
The same reason I can't trust someone that might be set off at any moment to send secret messages. Oh yeah, about me. Oh yeah, or the undercover cop that we all thought was with us. I mean, he still is, but undercover cop?
Mhm.
Once again, we don't know. We can't afford to not know.
I get that, kid.
And I told you all in the first place why I wanted to come to this place. I told you the answers are here and that I was going to search for the answers.
That's a pretty generic statement.
I went into more detail at the time.
I know. I'm just
Said
saying,
we
kid.
need to talk to Zoe. I talked to Zoe. I found out who the guys were that hit our ship. And how we can, well, not how we can track them down, but I have the name of their ship. Need to still look into that. One of them is dead.
I'm just saying, keep me involved, kid.
Then stop making decisions for me.
Well, you're making decisions
You
for
work-
us by doing your own thing.
No, doing my own thing very much means I make the decisions for myself, as do you, as does the captain, as hell, even does Nemo. If you want to be involved, then work with me and don't tell me what to do.
Not how it works, kid. You're not going to get a yes man. You're not going to get somebody that's just going to say, yeah, sure, let's do that. You're going to get an
No,
argument.
I don't need a yes man. I just don't need someone who tells me, no, you can't do that, you can't go anywhere, I need to know where you are at all times. That's not going to happen.
Seems a
Sorry,
weird
I might-
attitude to take from the person that put the tracking devices in our comms to begin with.
I was asked to?
Hmm. You didn't have any kind of deep philosophical argument about it then. You just didn't want it to apply to you.
And you could have made the same argument.
And I didn't.
Well, there you go. You made your decision on that.
Hmm.
You were fine with it. I
Just trying to
wasn't, and
point-
I'm certainly not gonna have a tracker running while I'm somewhere on an operating table.
You're just making it difficult.
Yeah, all I'm saying is you can work with me, we can all figure out a plan, but you don't get to control me.
You make it that difficult, kid, because you never actually take anybody else's plans into consideration. You're not always right.
Well, I'm not saying I am, but the problem is a lot of you are not making plans. And that's fine. You wanna play your music? That's fine. We can all try to trade our way through places. That's also fine. I don't mind that. We can try to run. I just don't see it working. And as much as you don't think that, I don't want to see any of you getting hurt.
Hmm. Well, then just understand that if you get yourself in trouble, that's not going to stop us from trying to help. So try and keep yourself out of trouble, and that'll keep us out of trouble.
I don't think that's quite how it works.
Well, that's how it's working right now. Because until I got your butt back on that ship, that at least we know we can deal with things coming our way, I don't consider you safe, especially not on this damn planet.
Well, we're not safe on that ship. I mean, do you need to remind you of the torpedo salvo that was coming our way?
Yeah, well,
Or the
safe
fact
is
that the
safe is
Galactic Mandate
relative.
seems to be finding us?
Again, safe is relative, kid. And if I was worried about keeping just myself safe, we wouldn't have come after you.
Well, if I cared about only keeping myself safe, I wouldn't be here either.
I imagine this walking conversation has gotten us to the coffee shop by this point.
Oh yeah, you're at the coffee shop. You can and snacks and
We're in the
coffee.
coffee shop. The barista has been listening for the last 5 minutes, kind of going back and forth, drinking coffee, eating popcorn, being entertained.
No, you could have interspersed an order in there and then gotten your order and either stayed at the coffee shop to continue talking at a table, not at the front of the line, or started walking back.
I figure we walked back.
Okay.
Dude grabbed tea and a biscuit.
Okay.
I think the biggest takeaway on this, kid, is that if you wander off and I don't know at least where generally you're going, I'm going to worry. And whatever it might have as an effect on your plans, I'm going to do my best to track you down. So if you don't want me stumbling around in your plans, just let me in at least on a basic level. Because at no point is my attitude on this going to be, well, she knows what she's doing and I'll leave her alone.
Well, and that's the part where I start having a problem. Because I know what I'm doing. Am I perfect? No. Are you perfect? No. Are any of us? Hell, even Devo has flawed programming.
So
Here's the
mistakes
thing.
happen. Life
Yes.
crops up.
But treat me as an equal. I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I might not have the age, but I'm not just some random kid. Okay?
Well,
I
I'll
flew the
compromise with you.
frickin' ship through defensive fire.
Yeah, you
Do
did.
amazing things. I'm not
Mhm.
blowing up the universe, which I still can. Just as a reminder, if I get really annoyed, there's an exit button.
Yeah. I was about to compromise, kid. If you leave the tracker on just for me, I won't do anything about it.
How about this? And this is what I've been doing the entire time. I leave the tracker on unless I have specific reasons to turn it off.
All right, well, I'd like to know those reasons just so I can know what if I agree with them.
The reasons are, as they usually are, it's a private matter that matters to me and nobody frickin' else.
Yeah, well, we've got bigger concerns, kid. I'm concerned about your life, not just your personal life. Like I said, I won't
Yeah,
do
and I
anything
have
with the
concerns
information.
about my personal life. I like my personal life.
Mm-hmm. I just want to know where you are.
Well, except the rare exception, I'm perfectly fine with that. But when I need space and quiet, I mean it.
Well, I didn't say I was coming to where you are.
Anyway, the current plan is to get the equipment, get a shuttle, and then camp out in orbit till the captain gets back.
It ain't a bad plan. I'm gonna go drink my tea and get some sleep. And dude pulls out his data pad and just checks. Is her location tracker still on?
Oh yeah, it's been on.
All right. And dude goes back to sleep.
A minute after he gets into his room, the alarm goes off.
And he pulls the
Or
plug.
the like 30 seconds later, the second Colleen opens the door.
Well, she probably does hear the same thing. An alarm going off.
Yeah, she's preoccupied, as she might have said something like, somebody repair Nemo.
This feels like a good place to call it a session.